What's up, guys? It's your boy Justin here with another manga review. It's been a while since we reviewed a manga, and today we're reviewing the 50th anniversary edition of Kamen Rider, the classic manga by Shotaro Ishinomori. Which this comic book, I think, these comics originally was published in Japan in 1972, hence the 50th anniversary because this came out last year, but I didn't start seeing it in stores till this year. I had a very hard time trying to track this guy down last year. So yeah, this was the inspiration for the Kamen Rider Tokusatsu show, which is a Japanese superhero show. And for if people don't know, this character, I guess, was made for a TV show. So there's gonna be a lot of spoilers for the comic book and the TV show because certain events happen in the TV show where they had to replace the main star because the main star was also a stuntman. So instead of doing what they do nowadays, where as soon as the person puts on the mask, it's a different actor, they had the same person wear the mask. So he broke his leg during one of the stunts, and they had to replace the actor for a while in the show. So that's why there's like two Kamen Riders in the show. And then the same thing happens in this manga where, yeah, because I think it was like a joint production thing. So yeah. Kamen Rider, for people who don't know, is a cyborg superhero who was obviously inspired by Spider-Man, and I think even Batman too, because the first two villains is Man-Spider and Spider-Man. So the story of Kamen Rider is you have the main character who is Takashi Hongo. I think is it Takashi Hongo? I know his name, or is it Hongo Takashi? I can't remember. One of the two. It's been a while. I spent half the book, like I said, half the book is with a different character as the Kamen Rider, so I'm a little confused. But yeah, so he's like a genius biology student at I think it was like at Jonan University. I can't remember which university. And he's also a motorcycle expert. And then there's his butler Tobe, who looks a lot different in the TV show. The actor who plays him in the TV show was also the head of the Science Patrol in Ultraman. So yeah, the first couple pages is colored, but obviously, since it's a manga, it's just the first couple pages. So what happens is Hongo gets kidnapped by Shocker, which is the evil organization that's dedicated to conquering the world, and they turned Hongo into a cyborg, which originally, if you watched my Shin Kamen Rider prologue review, you know that the character that he was supposed to be like a Guyver-esque superhero, where he transformed into it was more it was more like a biological transformation where he turned into a monster grasshopper. But because they're trying to, this is supposed to be for a kids show, they had to change the design. So yeah, he gets captured by Shocker. He escapes with the help of his Professor Midori Kawa, and they escape. And they send the Man-Spider after him, which is obviously like a villainous version of Spider-Man. And after Midorikawa is killed, Hongo becomes Kamen Rider and dedicates himself to defeating Shocker and their evil cyborgs. Which some of the cyborgs look like hideous monsters. Some of them look like robots. Yeah. So there's the Midorikawa's daughter, who thinks that it was Hongo that killed her dad. Sorry. Yeah, what's also different from from the TV show is that he has right when he gets agitated, the scars from his surgery appears on his face, and there's his uh, iconic motorcycle uh, cyclone. Which what's really cool about the comic book is that it's a lot more violent and gory. So as you see here, Kamen Rider chops off all of Man Spider's limbs. So yeah, and there's even like, and he has to beg to get like his arms fixed so he can go after. Here we see Man Spider, Man Bat, who has a toxin that's able to turn people into his slaves. So people actually die in this comic book. I forgot which is obvious because Meteor Kala died. So by the way, if anybody's wondering why in a lot of Kamen Rider shows the first villain usually is a spider monster, is because it's an homage to the original TV show and comic book, and the fact that Kamen Rider is based off of Spider-Man. So yeah, I don't want to go too much into the stories because it's like Silverage storytelling, but with ultra violence. So if that doesn't sound cool to you, I don't know what else to say. But yeah, because some of the other villains is which there are arcs too, but like some of the other villains, I have my coffee here, is this Cobra monster who has a girlfriend called Medusa, which they also kill dogs in this book. That sucked. Who has a girlfriend named Medusa, and hopefully we can get to Medusa. And her boyfriend fucks up. He's given one last chance to kill Kamen Rider, and they're both in Shocker. There's Medusa. See if we can find her without the hat, because she has like robot snakes on her head. And she accidentally, during the fight with Kamen Rider, she accidentally kills her boyfriend. There you see Medusa's head. She can shoot lasers and also like turn people into stone, just like the Medusa from Greek mythology. Here you see she kills her boyfriend by mistake, and then uses her snake laser guns to kill herself. And I'm like, holy fuck, that was brutal. And I don't think that was in the original TV show, because then again, I've only watched like the first 5 or 6 episodes of the original Kamen Rider show. Eventually we're going to review Kamen Rider, the original Kamen Rider, for Tokusatsu Thursdays, which Tokusatsu Thursdays is coming back this Thursday with a review for Ultra 7. So this is the story arc where they kill Hongo, and he has to fight like 13 other Kamen Riders, but one of them gets a head injury and becomes a good guy. This is the Hayato Ishii, I forget his name, but let's just call him Hayato. He becomes the new Kamen Rider because at first he's a bad guy, but he gets a head injury, and then he becomes the new Kamen. The head injury turns him good, and he tries to save the original Kamen Rider, but his body gets too damaged, and Hongo dies, and Hayato becomes the new Kamen Rider. Which there's Hayato as the new Kamen Rider. Which at this point, Hongo's brain is inside they're keeping Hongo's brain alive, and he's able to communicate with Hayato. And this arc was pretty cool, where Hayato goes back to his hometown, and it very much reminded me of the Junji Ito story, like a couple Junji Ito stories where you have these flying manta rays or whatever they're called, killing people. So everybody in the village has to stay inside, and they try sacrificing people to their sea god. When it's really, it's all shocker, and this is where they introduced the crab monster, who is a crab monster. So that was a pretty good story. But after that, yeah, there's another story where Kamen Rider meets this, befriends this girl who works at an electronics company who has a younger brother who's a huge Kamen Rider fan. There's also a moth monster who's dying of cancer, and it turns out that the Japanese government and the electronic company was going to make a supercomputer that was going to enslave everybody in Japan, but Shocker stole the computer, and Hayato has to team up with this Japanese FBI agent, and that's where we get introduced to Hongo comes back as a new Kamen Rider that's completely a cyborg, and now we have two Kamen Riders, and that's how the book ends. Which that was a twist that it turns out, oh yeah, the Japanese government was going to enslave everybody. But the Shocker found out about and stole the machine. They thought it was just Shocker all along, but it was actually the Japanese government too. So that was a cool twist. And the book ends on kind of a downer with the kid. There you see the two Kamen Riders, but yeah, it ends on a downer where you see the kid died. There's the kid. The kid who had cancer died. So yeah, there's also bonus material. And yeah, so I forgot to mention this book is like rated T, even though it has ultra violence, and it goes for 33 US, 41 Canadian, ages 10 and up. Ages 10 and up when there's graphic violence. So what do I think about this book? Like I said, lots of Silverage goodness. I wouldn't recommend it for kids though. Yeah, I would say if you're a fan of Silverage comics or you're a fan of 70s manga or anime, because it has the art style is very much Go Nagai, Lupin the Fur, like stuff like that. Yeah, I would say if you're a fan of 70s manga, which you probably wouldn't even reading this, watching this review, but I don't know, man. I liked it. Like I said, it had like the best worlds of modern and like old Silver Age comics, where it had the fun, like the fun science fiction wacky storytelling of old Silver Age comics, but with the horror and gore of like modern manga, because it's also half a horror story. Because Kamen Rider was also supposed to be like I said. He was supposed to be like a monster superhero. He was supposed to be like a horror superhero, kind of like Ghost Rider and Swamp Thing, and Man Thing. Which a lot of like in the 70s, that's when you first started to see like the horror style superheroes, right? Like Tomb of Dracula, but like Dracula was more like a villain / anti-hero at times. But yeah, 7 out of 10. I think it took me like multiple days to read this, and it's like over 800 pages. The main story is like 780 or something, I think, but the rest is bonus material. I think for $40, this is, you get a lot of story for your buck, and yeah, I would recommend it. So yeah, my next comic book review is going to be Astrobots issue 2, but I'm going to read a book for The Road to Neverwinter first, which is the tie-in prequel to the Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves movie. So I'm going to read that first, which will only take me a couple of days, and then we'll have another comic book review. And then in September, Batman month is starting, so look forward to that. Peace.